Hello guys and welcome to Sapphic Hobbit. Apologies for such a long wait. I have been, well, life in general just got in the way, so work as usual, the usual sort of stuff. But I have been painting plenty, I have no worries about that. I've been gaming loads, been doing loads of stuff with friends. But I thought for a change and to add to you guys such a long wait, thank you for the people that have subscribed. I think it's awesome. I haven't got many, it's 27, 28, but I, for one, certainly appreciate it. I think it's awesome. I've had some really good hits on some of my videos, I think. And for someone that's doing it just purely for fun, you know, I'm not asking for any money subscriptions, nothing like that. I'm doing it just for fun. It's almost like a YouTube diary of what I do with me life and hobby and stuff. Really appreciate those that take me seriously enough to actually want to subscribe. Thank you very much. You all really do appreciate it. But for that reason, I thought I'd do something different for a change, and that's a tactics video for the Arnor army for Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. It's an army that I think sort of underrated, and because Games Workshop don't quite support it anymore, you can get a lot of the infantry models but not many of the character models. Look on eBay, I guarantee you, if you want to get an Arnor army, just look on eBay for a good 6 months, really study it, keep looking at prices. Some people charge stupid money. I'd really hate that sort of person either that does that. There's no need for it. I can appreciate a collector's point of view, but it's another subject completely. But have a good look, you will find some good, reasonably priced models compared to what you can buy anyway from Games Workshop new. I've recently got another Captain of Varna with a banner bearer from a person in Spain or Portugal, I think, and the EU, the Euro calculation thing, worked out £25, bargain. It's, you know, perfect. So it's worth trying to do that as best you can. But anyway, here's the video for those of you that might have it, want to look into it. I recommend it. They are a brilliant army. They're gorgeous army to paint. I went for the green theme of what GW used them for anyway, but I've seen them paint in reds and blues. Some paint them in yellows actually. It looks really cool. So yeah, this is my first tactics video, so I hope you enjoy it. So, starting off with the Warriors of Arnor. Okay, now the first rule of thumb with this entire army, the biggest weakness completely and utterly is their courage. Courage is low, and that's because they're a real fluff army fighting against Angmar. Angmar have been through the histories and things, they've been destroying Arnor. I think it's Arnor, Rudar and Carolingian, is it? The 3 realms of Arnor, Arthur Dane as such. And, you know, Arnor's the last, you know, faction, county, whatever you want to call it, kingdom of this realm left. Because of that, their courage is really low to represent it. Now, I don't think it's a huge problem. With careful dice rolls, I always roll 1 dice at a time, regardless of what I'm doing, because I find, it could just be anything, but I find it actually gets better results than rolling like a cluster of 3 or 4 in one hit, or your courage rolls, roll 2 dice, because I find sometimes the dice hit against each other. You could see where the dice were going to land, because they hit each other, you get an half number, and like, ah! It's like you're real like, no! So always roll 1 at a time. Anyway, courage of 2 for the warriors, the armoured warriors. They have a defence of 6. So this is the best way. Sorry guys, a little bit of a camera issue there. Anyway, so I was saying, the Warriors of Arnor. So, they have courage of 2, defence of 6. This is your best way of using them. Now, you got to bear in mind, this is all sort of theoretical sort of thing. And also, I've only got a small selection of my miniatures because I didn't want to get the whole army. There's no point in that really. I want to do a different video for that, you know, later on. So, always get a banner in your groups of troops, whether it's your rangers even, but definitely with your warriors, because you need to have every advantage you can against your enemy. Obviously a banner allows you to do re-rolls and your fight rolls, which is always awesome. It gives you a chance to be able to actually, you know, try again. You might be able to re-win that thing. Obviously your enemy, if they have a banner, can do the same thing back to you, but it just gives you a chance, or vice versa. If they use their banner to go against you, you've got yours to use against them. So anything you can do to boost an extra attack and stuff, do it. Use them in rows like this. I've only got a few, like I say, but use them in rows. So whether you're using 12 miniatures, 10, 8, whatever it is, always use them in 2s. Your spears fight as 1 attack. So you've got your enemy charging against you. You know, you've got 2 attacks against the enemy. So whatever you fight, you've got 2 attacks against. You keep it like that the whole time. It's your best way of using them. Keep them as 1 unit, moving together as 1. Strength is in your ability to double up your attacks and to take the hits. That's the absolute, you know, proof in the pudding sort of thing, is that's how to use them. Now, we now go on to the Rangers of Middle-earth, or Rangers of Arnor, which are these guys. Obviously the Rangers, they've been around now long enough for you to know what these guys are like, but I'd recommend maxing out as much as you can on your warriors, and then having whatever's left over as Rangers. That way, you know, because obviously 2 models for every one is your bow limit. Use your Rangers as a So let me go back a step. Whatever you're playing against, if it's a standard fighting battle-ish, have them in a line. Have them in a line, so you've got one unit of Warriors of Arnor, your Spearmen here, Spearmen say there, whatever it is. Your Rangers have in the middle, or to a flank, whichever or, but so they've got a good range of shooting. So as the enemy's coming towards you, pick your priority targets, the ones you worry about the most, hordes of something, or you know, use them to shoot at. So as they're getting closer, hopefully you've whittled them down. Dice roll average is, say you've got 12 warriors shooting, I don't know, say you've killed 3 or 4 models in 2 turns of movement. That could be up to 8 to 10 models, realistically maybe more if you're lucky, of your enemy infantry, cavalry, wounds off of a super duper evil thing, down or dead. By the time they hit your wall, you've got 12 attacks more than likely hitting against your enemy. That's the best way to use these guys. Keep these guys back as the enemy's coming near you, because they're going to get used as attack, because they're very low defense of 4. I won't go into too much of the stats and stuff just because of a copyright thing. I don't own any copyright as usual, but you guys know where I'm coming from. But these guys defense 4, so of course against real tough monsters, like I use these against Gulliver, in Terra of Arnor, and he was killing them on like a 3+. It was awful. He slaughtered them repeatedly. So use them as whittling down the enemy, and then use them once the game's really getting going, your warriors are starting to take hits. Use these guys to support either or flank. They will be obviously being led by a captain, because that's the only thing they could need in the Arnor armies, unlike they used to be able to years ago. So the captain will help them as well, but that's your best bet. Use them as a glass hammer type thing, and as a last desperate attempt, if it needs to, use them to charge a flank, use them to charge the weaker enemy. Try and destroy their courage before yours is destroyed. Chances are you're always going to go against evil models, which obviously have a similar courage to you, so that is your proof in the pudding, is use it like that. That's generally it for the warriors as they are. Banner with your warriors, you get your re-rolls, double them up. Same with your rangers. Get as many of these guys as you can to get maximum bow allowance with these guys. Don't need to worry about anything else. You could maybe use spear-armed rangers behind your warriors of Arnor, because they're using spears, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The defense 6 warrior is going to hold up a lot better with their 2 spears. Brilliant. Which leads me on to the next part, the characters. Captains, in my opinion, are the best heroes in the army of Arnor, and that's because they can have a defense 7 with a shield. You can give them a bow or a shield. Use a shield every time. That goes up to defense 7. That is huge against most enemy infantry. 6+ is certain. Enemy heroes 5+, 6+. Enemy, they're so much tougher, and because they've got 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. Got a little bit of survivability. They've got standard captain tactics of 2 wounds, 2 attacks. They are a good army, leader. So to use them, best bet is like this. Remember, for Arnor, courage is everything. So your best bet is to use them. To use their courage is going to support your infantry. Simple as that. But if your enemy is obviously wise to your shield wall type tactics, and the enemy are trying to maybe from a distance starting to work their way around to the sides, you've got this guy in the second row, always in the second row. You can use him to come round and help the flank either or. Your enemies, I highly doubt, is going to spread themselves so thin as to try and flank both things, because you're going to be able to take the hit, as simple as that. But with your captain, protecting a flank, if you've got 2 or 3 models trying to whittle down this guy to try and eat away at your sides, captain's there, he's got 2 attacks, he's guaranteed going to kill at least 1 model a turn. It's as simple as that. That's how it's going to work. So always do that tactic. And obviously as your infantry at the front start to fall back, either bring him back a little bit more to try and help support the second line, or if you wish, throw him into the combat. He can survive, he will last a little while. Defense 7, he's in a good shape to keep going, especially with your banner. Either keep your captain going for as long as you can, or the banner to allow the re-rolls. Either way, both work well. Same goes for the Rangers, but obviously you're going to have a captain or a modified model as a captain for the Rangers because of the hero with 12 infantry. It's just how it works. Again, the same thing with the captain, except in my opinion, I'd use them almost as a suicide model. As the warrior, say the Rangers are really getting hard pushed, the enemy really closing in, they can't survive close combat particularly well. Use your captain as a suicide model to buy them a turn of survivability. You've got more shooting to get out of him. He's going to survive a fair bit. I've had him survive surrounded by about 5 or 6 orcs before now for 3 turns, believe it or not. So it can be done, and that will help. But overall, that's about it for the captains. They are the best, and I'd recommend, if you could afford it with eBay, as best you can, I'd almost invest in purely a captain-led Arnor army, depending on the situation and points value and stuff, because it's just a little bit more tougher. Leads us on to the 2 main names, characters. You've got King Arviduri and Mammoth. King Arviduri, he's defence 6, he's no fate whatsoever, no will whatsoever. No wounds, only 2 wounds, sorry, I should say. He's got 3 might and he's got 2 will, so he's got some good might tactics and he's got a good bit of will to try and resist magic attacks-ish. Use him in conjunction with Mammoth. Now, exactly the same tactics with Arviduri as you do with the captain. So you're going to have him in the second row supporting troops. He has a range of 12 inches for his standfast, which means he's got 12 inches either side, all around. You're looking at 24-inch range. So if you've got your army, like I said previously, warriors, rangers, warriors, depending where Arviduri is in those 2 sets of warriors, he's covering 2 units of troops basically, or 3 units of troops. However you set it up, he's covering a lot. Use Mammoth behind him to help support with his Gift of Foresight rule, which on the 6-inch range gives you an extra fate roll, basically, for each model that suffers a wound. He's warned of it coming, so you've got 5 or 6 to try and survive. That gives Arviduri limitless survivability, and your warriors a chance at least. Now, again, with Arviduri, you need to use him as a supporting model, same way as a captain. So if the flanks are coming, he can risk it. Arviduri's good strength, he's got the toughness, it's defensive 6 and things, so he is going to survive, and he will regularly kill a model a turn. Simple as that. He'll just keep cracking away, killing a model a turn. You know, you can't go wrong. Mammoth does have, he is squishy because of what he is, but he's got a staff which is used, I think, as a staff, so he's got a couple of different ways you can use it. I think bash and something, is it? Bash and club? Something like that. So he can do something, but he's got his might, got his will, he's got his fate. That will help. But protect them. The key to this arm is to always protect all your heroes as best you can, to keep the courage going as long as you can. Your aim is to always whittle down the enemy. Finally, you get to the Rangers of the North. Now you've got the Dunedain and you've got the Rangers of the North. I like both. The only difference is 1 point of defence. These guys are 5 rather than 4, and they also have the ability of using a horse. Now, I haven't made any models to look like they're riding horses, but I have used it as a proxy before now, and it does work. They're really good. Now, this leads me to the points. They also, my other point is, they always have 1 point of might, will, and fate each, so they've got a bit of survivability. Same as the Dunedain, just their defence is lower. But this leads me to my next point. Now, when you come up against characters, all these guys can easily take on evil creatures. The good guys, the design, Games Workshop always made it so that the evil guys, standard warriors, are just there just to be purely chopped up film style. But obviously the heroes on the evil sides or whatever are obviously tougher. Use your Rangers of the North as sort of cannon fodder, sort of kamikaze type troops almost. They get to shoot. They've got a might, will, fate each. They've got a little bit of survivability, and the same with the Dunedain. Use them to go up against the evil creatures as such, the tougher creatures, so like your cave trolls. In my case, the main bane of my life is the Witch King of Angmar. He causes terror, all that sort of thing. Anything that causes terror is a key. Use those guys from a distance, shoot. You know, you're 1 point off trying to get that wound. Use your might point, knock their armour down, get a wound on them. The more wounds you get on them, when they do get into your units, and you've still got your captains and Arviduri and Mammoth all supporting the courage, you can then finish them off. That is where you need to work with the Rangers of the North and the Dunedain, with Arviduri and your captains, to make a double hammer blow. So, with the mounted Rangers of the North, it does work again. You've got that movement, it's perfect. Position them to begin with, so if your enemy's got cavalry, as the cavalry come towards you, keep them out of the way and stuff, and then make the pot shots. Weave your Rangers of the North mounted between other units as your units. Get in between, behind some warriors you can see over, see what it is, bare the walls and stuff. Shoot the enemy, hopefully get a wound, bosh. Worst comes to the worst, and they've got nothing left. Say they've only got will left, so they've only got a fate point left. They're not going close combat yet, but you know the other enemy's got too close to the main units now. Just throw them in. Throw them into your enemy's evil units. They're a little bit tough. They've got a little bit of something. They will help slow down something at the very least. Leading on to that, always go for 3 of them. They come in packs of 3, so that's easy done. But points wise, I think it's about 75 points there for them 3, but it is worth it. Now, the overall limitation of the Arnor army is the points value, and you need at least 1,000 points for this tactic to really work. If you have less, I would maybe consider 50-50 units of Warriors of Arnor with Rangers. I know that's going against what I'm saying a little bit, but that's only because you need to try and get a good coverage of courage. So if you've got like 500 point army or 750 point army, it might be worth taking a 50-50 mix, because you're still at the defence of the Warriors of Arnor in front with the Rangers behind you, you know, give or take. But if you have too many Warriors of Arnor with your obviously your leaders, which are reasonably expensive, you might not have many Rangers left over, or enough for Northern Rangers or Dunedain to get enough shots in. So you could either go for less troops, maybe squads of 8 with the captain, and then you can try and boost more ranged type things, but you need to have a good, well, the points limit really, the 25% bow rate at least. Ideally on battles of 1,000 points plus, shock out on your Warriors of Arnor with a nice additional blob of Rangers and some Rangers of the North Dunedain, either or, to get a good bit of shooting through. Now this will help. Obviously they're a tough army, so even with these tactics involved, they're fairly obvious tactics. I'm sure most people use these probably for like Gondor, Rohan, whatever, you know, but just because I haven't seen much myself, and everyone kind of goes, oh, here's my Arnor army, which is the Grey Company. It's not Arnor as I see it, and I thought, I'm hoping some other people think the same thing, and so I thought I'd try and do that and sort of explain it. But that's gone off subject slightly, but that's how I feel this army's best to work, is at a higher points level, in a nutshell, because I can't really think of much else to say. You know, the units as they are. I do recommend a horse-mounted mounted horse rider for Rangers of the North. I really do recommend it. People slag off the Dunedain because they have a lower defence, so we're saying defence of 4 if they're 5, but they're 1 point cheaper. So, depending on how your points have gone, you could, in essence, have 24 points left over. You could do. And you might think, well, do I take a couple more warriors, or shall I, you know, I would say, actually, chuck in the Dunedain. You know, sacrifice maybe the Warrior of Varna or a Ranger, because you've got a few points left over, and get a Dunedain. You're getting the Mighty, the Will, the Fate, and you're getting a good, substantial warrior to try and hold something else up. I mean, if you charge him to a cave troll, he's probably going to go down quite quickly, but it's that turn of the cave troll being stopped that little bit longer, whereas if he wasn't there and you just had this line of warriors waiting, cave troll would have moved his through at full distance in that one turn, I assume. So in the following turn, nothing would have stopped him, he'd have moved again. At least it's something there, you know. But yeah, that is the tactics of Arnor. A bigger spread of points, you'll get more units, like I say. In a nutshell, lots of warriors, an example of Rangers, a little boost of Warriors of the Rangers of the North Dunedain, and then your heroes. I'd recommend more Captains of Arnor than maybe Arbaduri Malbeth, maybe. That's only because they've got a higher defence, and you do have the option of an arrow, bow, or a shield, so they're a bit more customisable. With a few more points, obviously, definitely Arbaduri and definitely Malbeth, because Malbeth, he can lead his own unit, so depending on how you want to do it, he could use a unit. Again, use him in the same way, have him as a supporting character. When stuff starts to happen, just get him back a bit, keep him out of the way, because he'll bring survivability to your army, same as Arbaduri will, with his 12-inch, which technically could be 24 inches. If he's in the middle, he's got a lovely range of, you know, stand with me. Use that to your advantage, and you shouldn't go far wrong. That being said, that's pretty much it really for the video. That is the Tactica. Oh, and of course the banner. Always use a banner. You get that extra reroll on your fight rolls, which is always perfect. And again, generally just keep your troops out of harm's way for as long as possible. Move them back an inch or two in one turn. You know, that the 2 or 3 inches might make the difference between the third turn of the enemy still having to slog it towards you. Might make it a bit unfair and a bit boring for the enemy, but hell, if it means you win, it happened in real life, why can't it happen now? So, worth a try. But having said that, you know, don't be afraid to get involved, don't be afraid to use them. They will last, they will hold out, and with a careful bit of usage of your captain, your artilleries, it will work. So that's really it, guys. I'll probably do another video, sort of a little video or something, just explaining how best to try and collect these guys, because they're still a very collectible army. You can still do them, and I think they are better warrior sculpts than like the Gondor troops, even the Numenorians, even because they're metal. They are that little bit better. I'm not sure if the new ones are fine cast, but even then, if you got a bit of patience with fine cast, they're still good molds and they're still good sculpts. So it's not too bad. But I'll probably do another video just to explain, in my opinion, my honest opinion, how best to try and collect them for as tight a budget you can. You will be spending more money. There's ways of getting around it if you're good with green stuff. You could easily try and replicate this style pose of the model using Gondorian troops, all sorts, but that'll be in another video. So with that being said, thanks very much for watching, guys. I do hope this helps. I do hope this encourages any ex-Arnor players to maybe give it another go. You know, bring the army back out. It's a great army, one of the best, I think, and it's a shame Games Workshop couldn't have maybe given a few extra rules, something extra to make them a bit more, you know, usable. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Many thanks as always. Roll on some more videos. There will be some more stuff coming up soon. And for now, that is me done. Take care, guys, and happy gaming. Thank you.